All right. So welcome to Excel with AP 2.0. I I'd like that you you are here with open minds to learn. And one thing with this program is that it always cuts across all levels of um, of expertise. So whether you are whether you are a beginner or you're at intermediate level or you're already an expert, you definitely, be able to pick one thing or the other in the class. So I just want you to have open minds and just follow through. And I believe that everybody, somebody's complaining about being removed. I'm sorry. Okay, can everybody hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. So I believe that everybody is going to gain one thing or the other from the class. Okay, so it's an Excel training class. It's not a data analytics class. In case you had it wrong, of course, Microsoft Excel is one of the vital tools we use in data analytics. So, but this is just a Microsoft Excel class to give you some level of proficiency with the use of Microsoft Excel. So, irrespective of whatever career you're pursuing or whatever field you find you're currently practicing in, there are many times that you need Excel for one thing or the other. So, this training program, that's what this training program is actually for. All right. So I would I'll just go directly into what we have. Um, so that the classes can be interactive. I'll take a few responses. Please, if you want to talk, maybe at this point I should just mute everybody. So if you want to talk, you should just raise your hand, and I'll probably just allow you to talk. So um, I just want a few responses from maybe two or three persons as regards why they are actually here to learn Microsoft Excel. So like why exactly do you want to know how to use Microsoft Excel? Is it maybe you need it at work or something? So I just anybody that wants to contribute. Nobody. That's sad. Okay, Ebenezer Tosin Adetimileyin. You can unmute your mic and talk. Oh, sorry. Okay, Ebenezer, you can unmute your mic. Then after Ebenezer, Shella EVA. I want to believe I pronounced that well. And then Omolola Oseni. So these are the three that I'm going to take.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Ebenezer.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on on this program or this project because Microsoft is part of my work as an accountant to collect data and for collection of data accuracy. So learning Microsoft Word here is just a matter of giving me more knowledge and enhancing my ability.
All right.
For,
Thank you very much, Ebenezer.
all right.
Shella, you have the floor.
All right, hi, good evening. So, first of all, I'm very, very grateful that you put this up. Secondly, one reason why am very interested in learning Excel is that I recently just got a job as a project manager.
Wow. Okay, I think we lost her. Omolola.
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm friend for so why I'm joining these classes for work basically, though I have a knowledge of it before, but I just got promoted to another role, so which they use more of advanced Excel. So I don't want to be caught up not knowing what to do in front of my boss. Let me just put it that way.
Okay, that's really nice. I'm happy to be here. I mean, I'm doing what I love doing the most. So I want you to follow the class properly, and so let's go into details without wasting much time. So I'm going to share my
Oh,
screen.
sorry, the network logged me out.
Oh yeah, you can just continue. We
Okay, so I got a job as a project manager. Actually I learned software development, but then I got a job as a project manager with a data team. So every time they're talking about sheets and validations and all, I don't really understand. I can't really follow up with them. And then I came across that. So um, I really
oh
want to learn.
that's really nice. That's really nice. Okay. Um welcome everybody. And like I said earlier, I'm happy to be here because I'm doing what I enjoy doing the most. So to make the best out of the class, I would recommend that you do as I do, and you try to. I'll try not to be too fast so that you can catch up and you can practice I while I'm also working. You get so the best way to do that, you can press Windows left on or right, anywhere you want to put that particular window. So just hold the Windows key on your keyboard. The Windows key is that's one that I mean everybody should know Windows key. If you use um, a PC. For those that use a MacBook, I don't know, I don't use a MacBook. So, but then if you use a PC, you can just use the Windows key and left, that's the direction key on your keyboard. So it shifts the window to one side. So you can have two windows at the same time. You get so you can look at what I'm doing on one side and practice on the other side with your Microsoft Excel open. So I'll just start the class with um, from the I said that the classes will start from the very basic, so you don't necessarily need to know so much to be able to follow. All right, so let me just share my entire screen. So I'm sharing my screen now. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
So when you want to open Microsoft's Excel, there are many ways you could actually achieve that. A lot of people have Microsoft Excel on their what's it called? Let me close this. A lot of people have Microsoft Excel on their this is called the taskbar.
Taskbar.
Yes. So a lot of people have it on their taskbar, but in case you can't find it there, you can just click the Windows key and search, or you come to all apps. I use a Windows 11, so it might look different. So it's here, most use it's already there, but you can search for it. Just come down to Excel, and sorry, I was trying to close a different file. Okay, so I just opened Microsoft. I'm trying to close an initial file that was open. So by I've opened it, it's loading. So let it just take time. So that's how to open Microsoft Excel basically. So when you open Microsoft Excel, you'll be presented with a particular window. I don't know why it's taking so long. Brotherly. Please, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's taking so long. Let me try opening it again. It's because it's the first file that I'll be opening, I guess. All right, so it's starting. So there are different versions of Microsoft Excel, or Microsoft Excel is actually an application that belongs to a package called Microsoft Office. Do you get? So in Microsoft Office, you have different applications there. You have Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, OneNote, Access. They're like it depends on. It also depends on the type of Microsoft Office that you're using. Do you get? So when you want to install Microsoft Excel, you cannot install Microsoft Excel as Microsoft Excel. You have to install Microsoft Office. And so there are like different versions of Microsoft Office. So I use a Microsoft Office 2021. It's the latest standalone version of Microsoft Office. So, oh my God, I was supposed to show you that page that popped up initially. So, but when you open it, you see a particular page that pops up. So it shows you different templates that you could use. I don't want to have to close this and open it again. So you choose the different templates that you could use, and so what I clicked on was blank workbook. So because I don't want to use any templates, I just click on blank workbook, and so I have Microsoft Excel open, and I use Microsoft Office 2021, and so you could be using a 2016, 2019, 2013, 2010. If you're using 2010, I mean that's really sad. So, but try to make sure that you are using a at least I on the group I recommended 2016 and above. So this is Microsoft Excel. Excel is actually an application that is designed to manage database and perform mathematical calculations. A lot of people actually just see Microsoft Excel as where you just come type in things and maybe print, or maybe anything that has to do with table, you just bring it here and type. So, but it's way beyond that. It's a really, really sophisticated tool, and I believe that by the end of this program, you'd see a lot of amazing things that you can do with Excel, and at least it will boost your market value. So it performs mathematical calculations. You can use it to manage financial data or financial information, and many more things. So I always like to say that Microsoft Excel means different things to different people. Do you get? I've forgotten his name when he was talking the other time. I think it was Ebenezer. He said he is an accountant. You get? So what an accountant would want to do with Microsoft Excel is going to be, I mean, it might be closely related, but there are going to be differences with the kind of maybe functions and formulas he's writing. It's going to be different from what a data analyst would do with Excel. It's going to be different from what a project manager would do with Excel. It's going to be different from what a financial analyst or an administrative assistant, a small business owner, a researcher, business analyst, a teacher. All these things will end up using Microsoft Excel in different ways. Do you get? So it means different things to different people. So what we aim to achieve in this training program is to give us some level of proficiency such that we'll be able to carry on by ourselves on our own. Do you understand? So this is the Microsoft Excel interface that you have. I hope I'm not talking to myself. So maybe once in a while, I would need people to, or
Well,
if
No,
I
with you.
say,
no, we are with
okay,
you.
thank you. So this is the Microsoft Excel interface. This is what it looks like. So I'll just briefly run you through what each of them are. So it might look slightly different on yours, but I mean it's not going to be more than this. So that's just because of the version that you use. So if you use a 2021 or Microsoft 365, so you probably have something like this. But if you use anything less, it will look slightly different, and but it's not anything to worry about. So what you have here at the top left corner of Microsoft Excel or most Office applications is the quick access toolbar. A quick access toolbar. So some people call it QAT bar. So, but it's a quick access toolbar. And what the a lot of people don't get to use quick access toolbar. But what the quick access toolbar is actually for is to put in features that you get to use regularly. So let's say you have to keep saving your file, or you have to keep printing, or maybe like some commands that you use very regularly and you need to access them really quickly. So you just keep them here. So on my quick access toolbar, what I have there is undo. This is undo because I've not done anything, so there's nothing to undo. That's why it's not clickable. This is redo. This is redo. This is open, I guess. Yes, this is save. Okay, this is to create a new workbook rather. This is save as. This is the quick access toolbar. So before I move on, when you open a Microsoft Excel window like we just did, what you are actually currently looking at is referred to as a workbook. A workbook. So think of a workbook like a workbook in its actual sense. And that's why when you open a new document, it says book one. If it is Microsoft Word, it will say doc one or document one. So because those ones are documents. So but this is a workbook. So when you just open Microsoft Excel, you are opening a workbook. And inside the workbook, there are different sheets. If you look down in this place, what you have here is sheet one. So I can open different sheets. This is sheet two. I'm clicking the plus button to create new sheets. Sheet three, sheet four. So all these sheets are in the workbook. Do you get? And each sheet is they have like equal capacity. So whatever I can do on one sheet, I can also do on another sheet and like that. And in a single sheet, you have this many rows. I'm going to press Control down for those that don't know what I just did. So I'm going to press Control down. It takes me to the end of the sheet. Control down is a useful tool. If we had data inside, it probably take it to the end of the data, but because there's no data inside, so it's taking me to the end of the sheet. So that's a useful command that you should know. Control and down button on your just hold Control and down button. So Microsoft Excel has 1,048,576 rows. 1,048,576 rows. I'm going to explain the concept of rows and columns later on. So, but let's just leave that. Now you understand that you have a workbook, and then in the workbook, you have different sheets that are also called worksheets. You get? So this is the QAT bar. In my QAT bar, I have all this. This is to sort. So if I'm sorting a lot of data at once, I can just be coming here to click sort instead of looking for sort. But all of the commands that you actually find in the QAT bar, you can find them somewhere else. The reason why they are in the QAT bar is just for quick access, so that you can access them. Then here is where you see the name of your workbook. So currently, because I have not saved this workbook, it is called book one, because I just opened a new workbook. So every time you open a new workbook, it's book one. Except maybe you open another new workbook, then you have a book two. So to create a new workbook, if I am currently in Excel, it works for almost every window if you use a PC. If I press Control N creates a new workbook. Now you see that I'm in a new workbook and I have only one sheet. In the previous workbook, if I come here, I have okay, this was the window I was talking about earlier that I said I didn't show you. When you open Microsoft Excel, this is what you see first. So then what I clicked on was blank workbook that time. So it's now created a blank book. So now I have book one where I have how many sheets? 4 sheets. And now I have book two where I have one sheet. So I can create more sheets so that it doesn't, we've not started working with sheets. So this is the interface. Here is the search box where you can easily search, just type for any feature or anything that whenever you need help, you can search for whatever it is that you want to search for, but you need internet connection. And here, if you use a laptop very well, or you should know what this is. I don't want to waste time. This is to minimize, this is to restore, and this is to close. So in this whole place, you have the ribbon or ribbon, as we would call it in Nigeria. Ribbon, Ribbon. So this whole place is the ribbon. So I can close the ribbon. So I just want to close it so that you would see. Sorry. Okay. So that you'd see what the ribbon is. So that you see that the ribbon has closed. That part that I just closed is the ribbon. So now when I click on home, it brings it up. So I want to set it to always show so it doesn't close again. So this is This is the ribbon. Then in the ribbon, we have different tabs. This is the File tab, Home tab. You might see some tabs on my Microsoft Excel that you don't have. Don't freak out. It's because, I said it earlier, that Microsoft Excel means different things to different people. So there are some things that we call add-ins that I can actually add to my own Microsoft Excel to perform some functions that I want it to perform based on whatever it is that I want to do. So the kind of add-ins you see in the Microsoft Excel of a data analyst might be different from what you'd see in that of a teacher or that of an accountant. Do you get? So you have the Home tab, Menu tab. I don't know. I scarcely use it. I just left it there. Then you have the Insert tab. You are definitely going to see this in yours. Page layout, Formula tab, Data tab, Review tab, View tab. You get to see all of those ones in yours, but you would not get to see Developer tab except you've actually added it. So I get to use the Developer tab really well because I code and don't don't be shocked. There's actually the coding part of Microsoft Excel. So, but we're not going to cover it in the training at all, so don't freak out. Then you have others to Power Pivots. We get to use this as data analyst a lot and the inquire. So all these are tabs. Everything you have here, they are tabs. So I'm just going to come back to the Home tab. And then in each tab, you have groups. Now, if you look at currently in the Home tab, these are all the features in the Home tab, isn't it? In each of you see that these groups are separated by lines. I'm trying to break this whole thing down so that the whole thing doesn't look ambiguous to you anymore, and you just understand everything. Like you are no longer afraid when you're in Microsoft Excel. So this is groups. So you have the clipboard group, font group, alignment group, number group, styles group, sales group, editing, add-ins. So all these groups are in the Home tab. If I click on the Menu tab, you'd have this. I had this during the installation of my 2016 Excel, but I don't get to use it. So for the Insert tab, you have all these groups. Sorry. So for the Insert tab, you have all these group, tables group, illustration. So you have in each group you have different features that you can access. Do you see it? So these are groups. So I'm not going to waste so much time on that. So now you understand groups. There's like a launch button in some of the groups, and that's because in this group here, you can't see everything. So there's like a launch button that you can use. So to see more features that you can actually access in the group. So for clipboard now, I can click on that launch button and get to see more things. If I click on the launch button here for fonts, you get to see a window pops up where you can also access this window by pressing Ctrl 1. So, and I mean, that's that about groups. Then if you look here, this place is called the name box. I'm going to come back to the name box, but just keep that name there, the name box. Then this place is called the formula bar. This is where you get to type in all your formulas. So this is the formula bar. Now, this whole space where you have lines and boxes and all these things is called the worksheet area. The worksheet area, that's where you actually do the main work. So in the worksheet area, you have colons. Now, a lot of people always make this mistake. I've seen some 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 really big people make this silly mistake of not knowing the difference between rows and columns. When I mean big, I mean industry big. So these colons A, B, C, D. Let's just say the letters here are colons. You can see that I'm clicking on them. Now, I had to take the cursor to the beginning so I can click on the entire column. So these are columns, A, B, C, D, columns. Then these ones here, the horizontal ones, I've mentioned this on the group if you've been paying attention to group messages. They are rows. So if you notice the name box, every time I click on a different cell, the name changes. So the name box shows the name of the cell or the range of cell that I have selected. Do you get? So this is C4. The name C4 was gotten from the intersection of the colon and the row. Colon C, row 4, C4. So if I click here, you have D10. If I click here, you have G18. Do you get? So that's how this is the entirety of of the interface of Microsoft Excel. You get, and of course, you have here, you have the scroll bar, the vertical scroll bar, the horizontal scroll bar. So yeah, you have different view options. If you want to view normally, if you want to view as page, if you want to view as break page, I mean that's something you must have been familiar with from Microsoft Word. Then you have the zoom slider here, where you can zoom in or zoom out. I scarcely use this because if I can zoom in with my pad, my touch pad on my laptop, so I can easily pinch in and zoom out too. So that's that about the entirety of. And down here you have like a um what's this thing called? Maybe like a it shows you what's happening at that point in time. Let's say if something is processing, it shows it's processing. And all of that. Then this small button here is for macros, to record macros. We're not actually going to cover macros in the training, so but I mean we'll probably have other discussions in other times. Or if you'd like to learn how to use Microsoft Excel full time, because you can't learn everything in 2 days. So you'd get to learn how to use macros. So this box here, you can use it to highlight the entire sheet. So if I come to this box and click here, it highlights the entire worksheet. So but I don't know why you would want to highlight the entire worksheet. And maybe you would try if you want to auto fit your columns and rows. We're going to talk about that. So I believe I've been able to explain the entirety of the Microsoft Excel interface. So now, entering data into Microsoft Excel. There are different ways you can enter data into Microsoft Excel. There's this cursor that I'm currently using. There are different cursors in Microsoft Excel. This cursor is the select cursor. You use this cursor to select cells. The cursor is always there when you are in the worksheet area. So there are different cursors, and you need to be paying attention to the cursor that you're working with. So when you have this big, large cross, white cross, it is the select cursor. Use it to select cells. So when you are on a particular cell and that cell is selected already, you can just start typing. You can start typing. Let's say I want to type in my name in cell C6. I just typed in my name. So all I just and I press enter. Once you press enter, it takes you down. If you want to go to the right after you're done typing, press tab rather than enter. So, but if you want to go down, you press enter. So once you select the cell, you can just start typing on it. So, but the thing is, if you now want to make changes, let's say for example, I don't want to write Afeni Foro. I want to write Afeni Forex. And so if I try to say EX here, it overwrites what was there initially. You get? And now this is also very important. The escape key. The escape key on your laptop. Escape is used to escape. So once you see that you have found yourself in trouble, let's say you have a particular formula in a particular cell, and then it has cost, for example, now I typed Afeniforo there and I just wanted to add EX. So but it has cleared my Afeniforo. The best thing to do is just press escape. The moment you press escape, it removes whatever you've typed in that cell and gives you the value that was in the cell initially. So now, how do I now edit this? There are two ways to edit. You can either double click, and mind you, everything that is happening in the cell is showing in the formula bar. If you look at this formula bar, every time I type something, if I type AP in this cell now, and I press enter, if I click on this AP here, it's showing in the formula. But in fact, it's showing in real time. As you are typing, it's showing. As you're making changes, it's showing automatically in the formula bar. So you can double click. Once you double click, you see this cursor has changed. Now you can edit the way you would edit in Microsoft Word. Afeni Forex, and I type this. It has already okay. It's still you can still see everything. Afeni Forex. So now I want to type. Instead of writing Excel with AP, this is another method of editing data. Just come to the formula bar. Come to the formula bar and edit in that place. And write Excel with AP and enter. So now this is a problem a lot of people always face in Microsoft Excel. Having data extending beyond the cell. So because you are seeing Excel with in this place in E6 and it looks like the AP is in F. AP is not in F. F is empty. It is just the E6 data that is extending to where F is. Do you get? So you can auto fit your colon. What I did was to double click, but I mean you can also drag. That's why I said cursors are important. The cursor I brought to this place now is different. So when I brought my cursor in between E and F, you saw that the cursor changed from a white arrow to a black arrow. So this cursor is used to adjust colons down. It's very important. So I don't want to spend too much time on all this boring stuff because Microsoft Excel is way sweeter than all these things that we're doing currently. So that's that about entering data. So now let's go into there's somebody whose mic is not mute. Please mute your mic, or let me just mute everybody from here. All right, and mind you, I'm sharing my screen, so I won't be able to see. Um, I won't be able to see the messages as while you're sending them. So let's go back to business. So uh yeah, I showed you how to create new sheets. So you can also delete sheets by right clicking. So if I want to delete sheet 4, all I just need to do is right click and delete. So in case you are wondering, or you want to rename the sheets, which all these things we are going to do. If you want to rename the sheets, change that is to change the name from sheet 1 to sheet 2 and all of that. You can easily do that. Or you can protect the sheet. You can give it a tab color and all of this. So back to business. In Microsoft Excel, there are some lists that are automatically built in Microsoft Excel, and you don't necessarily have to type them one after the other. One of those lists is months of the year, January. Once I type January, I don't necessarily need to type February and March. Once I now observe, I currently have, let me zoom in because I think I saw a message of somebody saying he's logged in with his phone and he cannot. So this is January, and it's so that those that are using their phone can easily see. So this is January in cell A1. This is the cursor I have currently, the white cross cursor. Now, if I take this cursor, there's like a small green box. Let me zoom in again so that you can see it. This small green box at the lower right of each cell that you have clicked. So whatever cell that you're on, there's this small green box that is there. So once you take your cursor to that small green box, it changes the cursor to the fill handle. This is a fill cursor. Use this to automatically fill. So once I have my cursor in that place, I can click and drag. So once I drag, it's just going to update the months of the year automatically, and I don't have to type the rest. So you can do it down, you can do it to the right. Do you get? In fact, you can do it up safe, and you don't necessarily need to start from January. You can start from March. So I say March, and I do this. So it takes me backwards. March, February, because I'm going up this time. March, February, January, December. So if I'm going down, it's March, April, May, June, like that. You get so and it doesn't necessarily have to be in full. You can say Jan. Once you say Jan and you come here to the fill handle and autofill, you have Feb, March, April, like that. Do you get it? So this is an inbuilt list. So months of the year are inbuilt. Days of the week are also inbuilt. Sunday, if I'm going too fast, you can so I already showed you how to enter data. So I don't expect you to be confused with the way I'm entering data now. So I typed on Sunday and I press enter. Then I come to where Sunday is and I drag. So once you drag from Sunday, it automatically fills Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So another thing that automatically fills is days of the week. And remember, it doesn't necessarily have to be in full. So you can actually do sun. And when you try to fill, it doesn't work. Money, it doesn't work. Sunday, Monday, it works. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like that. So that's about that. So um um if you try something else, let's say you type in Femi and you try to fill Femi because it's not a recognized pattern by Microsoft Excel. It will just duplicate Femi and give you Femi, 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 Femi like that. Do you get? Because it's not a recognized pattern. So you can also create a custom list. I didn't want to mention this because of time. So, but I just feel like I should talk about it quickly. So I'm just going to quickly talk about it. So you can create a custom list by yourself in such a way that, let's say you work in a particular company where you have to write each department every time. Like you write HR, marketing, sales, finance, engineering, and like whatever department it is, and you have to type it every time. So and you probably have to do that every time. So you need like a custom list so that once you just type anyone and you drag, all the remaining just starts to pop up. So you can come to file, then come down to options. So if you're on options, so go to advanced. Then if you come to advanced, file, options, advanced, you see edit custom list. So so this is like to create your own sequence. So when you look into it, you see different, okay, I've created this and this. These ones are not supposed to be here. So let me just delete them so it doesn't confuse you. But if you are following through, you will see the ones that you have. These are the only custom lists. These are the only ones you will find in Excel. Monday, Tuesday, January, February, January, February. So these two other ones that you see were the ones that I created by myself. Do you get? So you can actually what you can create a list from here. Let's say I want to have a list of rice, rice, beans. I don't want to do too much because of time, and Gary. So this is the list, isn't it? So I can come to file, options. I want to create my own custom list, advanced. Then I come down to the last part. Just scroll down to the end. Then you see edit custom list. So when you now edit custom list, I want to import a new list. So I click on that arrow. Let me show you what I clicked on. I clicked on this thing here, this arrow. So it's when you anytime you click on this Microsoft Excel, it takes you to the worksheet and you can select. So now I want to select these three. So these three things in this cells is what and I'll press enter. And so I've selected, so I'm going to import. So it will look at what I just selected and say, okay, rice, beans, Gary, okay. And then I click okay. So that way I've added what you have there to my custom list. And so you see rice, beans, Gary. So in my Microsoft Excel, if I come here to type rice, I don't necessarily have to type beans and Gary. Once I just scroll, it just starts to give me the list, rice, beans, and Gary, because I've added a new sequence to my Microsoft Excel. So that's that about custom lists. So if you want to create a custom list for yourself, that's how to go about it. So the next thing we're going to talk about is autofilling generally. So this is for text lists. Microsoft Excel 2 automatically recognizes number patterns. It's also very important. It recognizes number patterns, but you have to give it the pattern. If I type 1 and I press enter, so sometimes I want it to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I did not specify the pattern. So if I actually drag, it will give me 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So the best way to do this, if I want it to be an increase in 1, I can just say 1 and 2, and then I highlight the both of them. See how I selected the both of them, and then I drag. That way it has seen the pattern that I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it gives me that. So this is, I'm just explaining different ways you can autofill. So then if I want a different pattern, let's say I want 1, 3, 1, 3, 5 like that. So all I just need to do is is highlights. So it gives me 135,799. Like,
We
are you
can't
seeing
see
it?
your screen.
You can't see my screen.
No.
Is it general?
Yes.
Yes.
Someone else.
I can see your
No,
screen.
it's not
Yeah,
general. I can see your
the
screen.
screen is
Shalari
visible.
is present.
I can see
Okay.
your
Okay, maybe you should like leave meeting and join again.
Okay.
I think every other person can see my screen. So I just autofilled now. So you can do it for I created a video on how to fill in number series, really long number series. If you are dealing with something short, you can just drag. So but if you have to do let's say 1,000 or 10,000 um rows, remember this is rows. One row, two row, three row, like that. So if you have to do 10,000, I made a video on that. You can check my YouTube channel for that.
So
I
I've
also
told you
made
your screen.
okay, maybe I should stop sharing and start sharing again, if that works.
Check their network. You can see your screen.
She's probably the only one.
Okay, let's just do this one for her. So I'll stop sharing and then I'll start sharing again. Okay, somebody has his hand raised. Chi Cody Richard. Or was it a mistake?
I can see it now, sir.
All right. So this is how to autofill basically. I also made another video for flash fill, well explained video for the flash fill function, Control E. I don't know if you guys saw the video. You can check my YouTube channel, so we don't have to waste time on talking about that.
your
So
screen is not showing. No,
what did you say?
your screen is not showing.
Why is this a problem?
Check your network. You can probably
Okay, let me check. Let me, you know what? Let me share a
I must
particular,
find that Wi-Fi. So
let me share a particular window. I'm just going to share um my I'm going to share book one. How is it now? Can everybody see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, the screen is visible.
All right, thank you. So that's that about autofill. And then I also talked about flash fill. Flash fill is a more intelligent fill than autofill. So autofill also observes patterns and it gives you, and mind you, you don't necessarily have to start from one. Please do not make the mistake of having to start from one. Let's say I want to start from 111 and I want it to continue to 112. So I'll just select these two and then increase. So it observes the pattern and gives me automatic. Every number series is a part of Excel's automatic sequence. So it gives you the sequence normally. So you have that autofill, and for flash fill, please check my my YouTube channel for the video on Control E. Control E is is the shortcut you use for flash fill. So briefly, I'm just going to talk about how to format data in Microsoft Excel. How to format data in Microsoft Excel. There's something called formatting. Now, please, when you hear format, don't think of format this time around as as what happens, what you do to let's say like a storage. Like I'm trying to format my phone. I'm trying to know in Microsoft Excel, a format is like it's like an attribute that you or a particular appearance that you give to a particular cell or a group of cells in Microsoft Excel. So you can apply formatting to different cells. So whatever appearance a cell has is format. It's like a it's like a formatting. So if I make a particular cell bold, it means that I've applied the bold format on that cell. So it's like a format. Do you get? So and it's important to understand this because Conditional formatting is a very useful part of Microsoft Excel. We'll probably do it in today's class because it feels like we still have time. And so conditional formatting is a part of Microsoft Excel. And so it simply means giving a particular format to a cell based on the fact that it satisfies a particular condition. So you are setting the conditional formatting to say that if it satisfies this condition, give it this formatting. Do you get? So that is for conditional formatting. So, and formats generally, it doesn't have to be conditional. This is format painter. I can take the particular format and let me just do that. So if I'm coming here and all these things here now are different changes that I can make to my cell to give it a particular format. Let's say I want it to be bold. I want the cell to be bold. I like to use green. So I'll use this green, and then I want to make the fonts. I think we should be familiar with this from usage of Microsoft Word. So let's say I want to give it a darker green, and then all these things that I'm doing to this cell now is a format. So now in the clipboard, this is very important. So if you're not listening before, I want you to listen to this. In the clipboard group of the home tab on your ribbon, there is this brush that is down called the format painter. Every time you have a particular formatting on a particular cell, you don't necessarily have to go through the same process. So let's say this thing I just did to January, I want to do it to October. Instead of having to start coming here again to click this and click that and click bold and all those things, it's not necessary. Just click on the cell you want to copy formatting from and click on Format Painter. Can you see it? So Format Painter takes the format on the cell that you selected. So I click on Format Painter. You start to see this moving ants. That's how I like to describe it. So you see it around this guy. So anywhere that I actually take it to, it copies and pastes. So I can do it on a single cell, I can do it on a range of cells. So let's say I want to do it on only October. I select October, and you see that immediately October looks exactly like January. So I don't necessarily have to go through the same process. And this is not just for coloring. It's not just, there are different types of formatting. You also have number formats in this place now, but we're going to talk about it. So just calm down. So there are many changes that I can actually make. If I extend this guy here now, I can decide to, so that it will be visible. I can decide to align that October to the right. If I align it to the right, you see it has moved to the right. Do you get? If I copy this formatting now and I paste it on July, observe what happens to July. Aside the color, July also moved to the right because the right alignment that I did here is also a part of the formatting. Do you get? So you can actually copy and paste just the formatting. You are not copying the content. So irrespective of the content that is inside, you are just copying the formatting that is there. So let's say you have built a header, and then you now remember that, oh, I'm also supposed to add another column to it, and then you add a new column. You don't necessarily have to go through the process you did in doing the first one. Just copy the formatting on the first one and paste on the new one, and you have what you have. Do you understand? So why am I working in sheet 3? That's really weird. Because I hope you are doing yours in sheet 1. Any sheets. I'll probably just clear all these things now because it's really rough. So now, yes, it's even good. So I mentioned to clear now. So to clear data, you can easily just select, and a lot of people are used to pressing backspace. When you press backspace, there's something called the active cell and the selected cells. So the active cell and the selected cell. Hello, is Bisola here? Bisola, are you listening? Okay, I guess she's not here. So the active cell and the selected cells. I just selected a lot of cells now. I don't know how many cells I selected, but Excel is very beautiful. It will tell you the number of cells you selected here. Look at it, 79. It gives you details in real time. If they were all numbers, it will probably tell you the average and the sum and everything that you need to know about the numbers. So it has told me that I selected 79 cells in total, the whole of everything that I've selected from here down here. So, oh no, I don't think that's the count. I think it's counting the cells that have content in it. Please don't make that mistake. It's not all the cells I selected. So it's the cells out of all that I selected, the ones that have content in it. So there's something called, because I started selecting from down, this is where my active cell is. You see that this one is white, every other thing is blue. It is a part of the selected cell, but it's the current active cell. So if I type something, it's going to be appearing in that cell. So if you have a selected cell like this, if you can press enter, if you press enter, the 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 active cell starts to change. Now you see the active cell is moving, but all the cells that are selected are still selected, but the active cell is what is moving. You can see the active cell moving. So let me so so that's that about active cell. So when you press backspace, what backspace does is to remove the data in the active cell. So when you select the range of data like this and you want to delete the content as it is, press delete, delete, delete. Everything clear except the formatting. It clears the content but leaves the formatting. So you see that formatting is still there. You get. So if you press backspace, let's say I write this guy now and I press backspace. Backspace clears what is in the active cell. This is the current active cell. Are you seeing it? If I press backspace, it clears what is in the active cell. So, but if I want to delete everything, just press delete. It deletes the entire range. So these are little things that might make you waste time when using Microsoft Excel that you need to know. So I'm just going to clear everything, and let's work on building something. So uh, the for the clipboard you have paste. So the paste will work when you have copied something. So if you copy something, then you can paste. You see, I press Ctrl C. No power. Oh please my charge. God. Let me just disconnect from this. Bluetooth mode. I'm sorry. Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
All right. So I want to believe everybody knows how to paste already. So this is to paste, to cut, to copy, and this is format painter. This might be the only new guy here that I have already explained. Then this, you should be familiar with this. I don't expect that you don't know how to use Microsoft Office at all. So this is to change the fonts, to increase the font size, reduce the font size, to embolden, make it italic, underline. This is to for now. It's important that I say this. I'm going to press escape because I don't need to paste this thing so that this guy can leave. So I just press escape now. All these grid lines that you see, all these things that you see in the worksheet area, they are called grid lines. And these grid lines are not real lines. It's important to note when you're trying to print, although it doesn't matter, especially if you're not printing, because as a data analyst, I don't get to print anything. So, but if you're trying to print, these lines are just imaginary lines, they are not real lines. So, these grid lines are just like guides to help you in your spreadsheet. So, but if you want to have real borders showing around your what's it called your cells, you can come here. I can click on this drop down, and let's say I want all borders everywhere in the cell I just select, in the group of cells I just selected or range I just selected, and press all borders. So now I have actual lines. Do you get? So if you're working with tables and you want to see actual lines, so this is how you do that. So the grid lines that are appearing here, that are in the entire worksheet area, are just they just serve as guides to help you in working with your structured data. Structured data is data that is on a table. This is not a data analytics class, so we're not doing structured data. So you have this guy here to fill color. This is for font color, to increase the font size, to reduce the font size. Now you have these alignments. So this alignment is top align. Here you have middle align and you have down align. Here you have left align, center align, and right align. This thing is very important. It might look useless now, but if imagine you have a cell that is this wide. So I just increased A1. So, and I type in Sunday, the formatting that was there initially is still there. So that's the green font color. So if I want it to be at the top, this is top align, isn't it? Currently it's at the left. So top left align. I can leave it at middle left align or down left align. So I can also bring it to the center. So it can be at the top at the center, or at the middle at the center, down at the center. You can bring it to the right, it can be top at the right, middle at the right, down at the right. So this is how useful this thing is. So if you are doing it in small sized cells, you might not see the difference. So, but this is the difference. Then here you have orientation. Orientation is, it helps you to put your data. A lot of teachers usually use this. Let's say you're maybe like doing like a report card or something that teachers use. Sometimes the content in the cell is not so much. Let's say you're like a cell like position. Position is not so much because all you need to type in that particular column is first, second, third, fourth, like that. But the header itself, position, is taking a lot of space already because it is position. And maybe you added extra information and then you're like, this thing is taking too much space. You can do an orientation. So an orientation is, you want it to be slant. Now you see that it is slant. If I increase, let me put this at the left. Let me make it reasonable. So you can do this orientation. You can try out other angles of orientation. You get. I'm going to give an exercise on this thing, and that's why I want you to pay attention. Then wrap text. What wrap text does is to, as much as possible, try to allow the text to fit into the cell that it's currently in. Let me remove the orientation that is currently on this cell. So I've removed it. So normally this is Tunde. So initially, if there's no wrap text on it, if the cell becomes smaller than Tunde, the DE will be shooting out into another cell, and it doesn't even necessarily mean that it is in that cell. So, but what orientation wrap text does is to fold everything as best as possible to make it fit into the cell. So it doesn't care whether there's a space in between or not. It just folds everything. Okay, so that's wrap text. Then a very important one, merge and center. Merge and center, very important. What merge and center does is you can select a range of cell and turn it into a single cell, and then you merge everything. Now I just did from A1, B1, C1, D1, E1. I just converted it into a single cell. So I clicked on merge and center. Let me remove the wrap text that is on it. So let me remove the wrap. Please help me check the gates. Or did you lock the gate? So, if there's anybody there. So, this is merge and center. So, you can merge cells from A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, and all of that into a single cell. I can increase the font size to make Tunde look like a header. I'm going to give you an assignment on this, and I expect that you do it well. So I didn't talk about these two guys. These two guys are also very important. Indenting to decrease indent and increase indent. You can like, so if let's say I'm currently on, even if you are here, the moment you start to indent, it takes you to the beginning. Okay, if I'm on the left now, I can increase the indent. It's more like, that in Microsoft Excel, please now, that in Microsoft Excel, please, I'm sorry. In Microsoft Excel, you can, the moment you press tab, it takes you to the next cell. Remember? So, but it's not like Microsoft Word. In Microsoft Word, when you press tab, the value in it starts to shift. So this is like a tab, like indenting in Microsoft Excel. So once I click this, you see that Tunde starts to move. This is very, very important because in the assignment I'm going to give, it was actually used. So you see that I have been able to move Tunde the way I want to move Tunde. So it's moving, even with the fact that its alignment is on the left. So you can actually do whatever other thing that it is that you want to do on this side. So that's that about merge and center. So the next thing is number formatting. We don't have much time anymore. I want us to go into the real deal. So number formatting. There are different. Okay, before we talk about number formatting, let's talk about some basic functions. I'm just going to go to a different sheet because this one is already messed up. So I'm going to talk about basic functions in Microsoft Excel. So Microsoft Excel functions and basic formulas. So functions are are like functions are functions. I don't know how best to describe it. So but they're like
Maybe they're
inbuilt
processes.
features. What did you say?
Maybe like processes that can help to perform it
Exactly.
or
Like
do something
features,
basically.
yes, that can help to solve complex issues. So rather than having to do a lot of things manually, you can easily use functions to do them. So and formulas too. So the difference between functions and formulas in Microsoft Excel, please listen very well. So for functions, whenever you want to write a function or a formula in Microsoft Excel, you start with the equal to sign. I mentioned this in one of my videos. I think it was in the Control E video. I mentioned it. So if you want to start writing a function, you start with the equal to sign. Equal to, I can, the moment I press any letter, I start to see different functions that start with that particular letter. So all these things are functions. So let's assume that I have a data set. I'm going to do something now. You might not, I'm typing a function. I've not explained what functions are, so don't be confused. I want to generate random numbers between 1 and 25 or 23. So I'm going to hold control down and press enter. So I just generated random numbers. I'm going to explain how I did this later. So, but I want you to understand the concept of functions first. So I'll just come here and paste values because I don't want the formulas underneath. Then escape. So now I have this data set, isn't it? And let's say I want to let me insert a new column. This is also something I should have mentioned earlier. How to insert new columns. So if I want to insert a new column in between A and B, I come to B, I right click and insert. It inserts to the left. Do you understand? So I just inserted. So I'm just going to delete the column. So I need this one. So let me insert another column in this place. So I have. Okay, for those that are following, let me explain what I did. I'm really sorry. Just so that you'll be able to follow through. Let me explain what I did here. I generated random numbers. I used a function called, I selected a range of cells. So this is a range of cells. I just selected it. Then I started typing. Remember, once you select a range of cells and you start typing, it starts to type in the active cell. So then I started typing and I said equal to rand between. Rand between means random numbers between. So you see it every time you type a function, it already shows you. It shows you what the function is about. It says return a random number between the numbers you specified. Can you see this? Because I'm sharing only a particular window. I want to be sure that you can actually see. Can you see
Yes.
rand? All right. So once you don't necessarily need to type it to the end. Once you're typing a function and you can already see it, you can just go to where it is and double click, or over your way to where it is, or like use your cursor. I'm sorry, I didn't type that to the end, so that's why you have the error. So equals rand. So I'm typing from the formula bar. That's why it's here. So I can just come here and double click, and it says rand between. So I want random numbers between 0 and 30. Oh, I didn't select the range of cells. I'm sorry. Let's start again. So let me take this away. So I selected a range of cells, this range, and I start typing rand between. I just come to rand between and double click. It's weird that rand between is the first function you are getting to learn. So, but just take it like that. Between 0 and 30. So I close my brackets, but I don't press enter yet. What you just typed is in A3, I guess, A3. So, but because you've selected a group of cells, you've selected a group of cells. So all of the selected cells, if you want what you are doing to enter all the selected cells at once, hold control down and press enter. It's simple. If I come here, if I select a group of cells and I type A, if I press only enter, it will give me A only in the active cell. So but if I hold control and press enter, it gives me A everywhere, meaning that I want to type this thing everywhere. So, but what I did was to generate random numbers. So you don't expect the same number to be everywhere. So you have different numbers everywhere. So, but for, the formulas are what you can see is the results. So, but underneath you have a formula that is underneath that particular cell. If you look at the formula bar, you see that it's a formula that is there. But in the cell, you are seeing 26 here, but the formula is round between. So I don't want to see that because I don't need the formula. So I'm going to copy. I'm going to copy this, Control C, and then paste values. To paste values, you can come to the paste options. There's a drop down here. There are different paste options. You can paste generally. When you paste generally, paste both formula, formatting, everything. So here it pastes only the formula, it ignores the formatting or any other thing. Here it pastes both the formula and number formatting. Here it keeps the formatting of the source where you copied it from, but it doesn't matter. So what I want is to paste values. So just paste values 1, 2, 3, where you have paste values, and I'm clicking on that. So it gives me the values without the formula. So now I have this. I just generated random numbers. So I'm sorry that you had to learn round between first. So, but don't see it as complicated. So I'm going to write a formula. A formula. This is a formula. Every formula starts with equal to sign. I want to add this guy plus this guy, and I press enter. It gives me the addition easily. I don't necessarily have to type it for the same thing. I can easily autofill. The moment you autofill by dragging, it will automatically change the values you have. So initially, what I did here was A3 plus B3. Then it will go down. The next one is going to be A4 plus B4. The next one is going to be A5 plus B5. So it goes down because you dragged the formula. Another way to do that is, especially if you have a very long data set, once you've done for the first one, double click. When you double click, it observes the last column that you did, and then it does it till that last column too, and stops there. Do you get? So you instead of dragging, you double click. So I'm just after you've done for the first one, instead of dragging, you double click. So it automatically fills it. So this is simple. This is a very simple formula. So now, if I want to make use of a function, so anything that starts with equals to is a formula. Do you get? So everything that's why that place is called the formula bar. Everything that starts with equal to is a formula. So, but in my formulas, I can decide to apply functions. So functions are those inbuilt things in Microsoft Excel. So if I want to do, let me let me give an extra so you don't get confused. I inserted a new colon in this place so that you know that we're working with this place. So let's call this guy A. Let's call this guy. I'm going to press tab B. I'm going to press tab. I want, because the numbers are on the right, I want it to be, let's say I want it to be at the center. I believe you already know how this works. So let's call this guy total. Or instead of A and B, let's do rice. Remember that we've created a custom list that after we type rice and we autofill, the next one is beans, then the next one is Gary. But since I did just two, it's rice and beans you have here. So then total. So this is total for rice, total for beans. Then here you have 40. Total for rice, total for beans. Here you have 42. So I said total and value for rice, value for beans. Then you have the total. So this is how to do sum. So what I did was equal to this guy plus this guy. If it is more than that, I can continue doing equal to this guy plus this guy plus this guy. Let's say I want to do that for here. You can say equal to this plus, oh, this is stressful. I mean, I hate that I have to do this. Please just do it one after the other. So another way to find addition of a particular row or a particular column is to use a function, and the function for addition is sum. So I can say equal to sum. You can see some. There are still other functions that are related to sum if, sum products, but we're dealing with sum. So I come here and double click or I press tab. So now you can select a range of cells. So I can say the sum of this guy, comma, this guy, that is very stressful too. So, or I can also say the sum of this guy to this guy. Can you see it? See, oh, that was a mistake. The sum of open bracket. Sum of E3 to I3. So if you want to type that, you can type that as E3 colon I3 and you press enter. Then it gives you your sum. Then you can remember, you can drag or double click on the fill handle and it automatically gives you the sum of these guys. So it's going to give you the sum of everything here 37, everything here 85. So the same way you can do it for each row, you can also do it for each column. Are you seeing this? You can also do it for each column. So if I come here, now this one is going to be, this is for Excel experts in the house. You can easily press Alt equal to. So once you press Alt equal to, it observes and automatically does the sum, or Alt plus, it's actually plus, but plus and equal to are the same place. So it automatically does the sum. That's what I pressed. So I didn't have to type anything. I just come to the end of the data. Let's say I want to do the total of all the totals. I just press Alt plus and then. So that's another shortcut that you probably not get to see in many places, except places like Excel with AP. Give me my flowers. All right. So I've shown you different ways that you can actually make. So it's the same thing. The odds equal to it just helps you to do the sum immediately. Do you get? So without having to type, but you can as well just type this to do sum. And so you can also make use of other functions like average in likewise manner. Average. I know you might probably be wondering, how do I do subtraction? And you probably might not get to do a lot of subtractions, but if you are doing subtraction, you can easily just say this cell minus. Let's say I want to do 19 minus 9. I can just say equal to 19 and then minus then this one and then enter. It gives me my value. Are we together?
Of course, yes.
All right, thank
Yes,
you.
we are.
So so this is this about this and that about that. So other functions, we have other functions like average. Let's say you want to find the average of a particular number. Let me just clear all of this. So, and then, mind you, your formulas in Microsoft Excel, they work in real time. Do you get? So you have 10 here. I can increase this to, if I increase this to 31, and I think I press 32. If I press enter, observe, it immediately changes this one to 62. And here you have the addition of 32 and 30, which is 62. Do you get? So it works in real time. So any change that you make, it automatically changes in your formula. So another function is the average function. Average. How is this person calling me? Hello. I'm busy. I'm very busy. More busy. Please tell him I'm doing something. Thank you.
My brother is doing something.
So, I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me? So,
Yes, we
to
can.
do the average, I can easily do this and
Yes,
say,
you can.
okay, thank you. So I can say the same way I did for some. I can, if you now the thing is, when you are using a formula, every time you type, sorry, a function, every time you type in a function, I just type in the average function. It requests for parameters. That parameters means give me this information, give me that information. So for functions like sum and average, it's asking you what are the numbers you want to sum. Do you get? So it's asking you number one, number two. Now it's average, number one, number two. So, but because we want to do a range of cells, instead of giving it one after the other. So after you input the first parameter, you can press comma, then input the next parameter, you press comma, the next parameter. So I want to find the average value of all the rice that we have there. I can just do this and press enter. It gives me the average value. And the average value here is 19.1818. Remember that this place here, the cell here was, we had written a formula that says E3 minus F3. There's no longer anything in E3, and it's what you have there is zero. So it's like 0 minus F3. That's why you have these results hanging in this place. So we don't need it. I'll just press the delete and it's out. So what you have here is the average of rice, isn't it? I'm just playing with all of this. So in an assignment that I'm going to give, you are going to make use of. I'm going to send you a screenshot of what I want you to do, and you are going to do it in Microsoft Excel and send it to me for you to access. Do you get? So I don't want to do exactly what I want to ask you to do. So that's why the whole thing is looking really rough. So just follow through, and I believe that you are going to get the assignment that I'm going to give. So that's how to find average, and so there are some other functions that are really popular that we can get to use. And that one is max. This is average. Max. If I press equal to max, like max returns the largest value in a particular set of numbers that you. So if I want to know the maximum number in all these things. So remember that everything that we are doing for this small data set, you can do for really large data sets. It's very important to know that these things that we are doing for very small data sets, we can do them for really large data sets. So let's say you have like very maybe like 10,000 numbers and you want to find the maximum. Here we can easily use our eyes to find the maximum. So the fact that I'm doing it for this small one, so you just don't just be like, why are we using formulas when we can easily look at it. So if it's larger than this, it's just the same stress that you go through. So I'm going to press enter, and it tells me that the maximum number here is 32. And if you look at the range that I selected, the maximum number there is 32. So just the same way you can find max, you can also find mean. So the function is equal to mean. So all the formulas we've talked about, all the functions we've talked about so far, escape. So all the functions we've talked about so far, we've talked about sum, average, max, and mean. And I believe you know what each of them do. So sum is addition, average is like the mean value, not mean as in MIN, but MEAN, that's average. The max is the maximum value in a particular range of cell. So and minimum value too in a particular range of cell. So then you also have that round between that I use. There's round between. So you can go try it out. Round between. What round between does is to give you random numbers between a specified limit. So give me random numbers between this and this. Or I want a random number between this and this. So it just gives you a random value between a particular limit that you have set. So another thing is counts. To count means what count does equal to counts equal to count, sorry, counts. So I wanted it to show you what it does. It says counts the number of cells in a range that contains numbers. Now, this is one mistake that a lot of people make. So when they come here and say, I want you to count this one, and you press enter, and it's giving them a value of 11. If you actually look at it, rice, this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 if you add rice, but if you remove rice it is 11. What count does is to check for cells that contain numbers, only numbers, and give you the value. Do you get? So it doesn't count the text, it just counts the ones that contain numbers. So if you want a formula that allows you to count the text, there's a function called, if you want a function rather, there's a function called count A. So count A counts the number of cells in the range that are not empty. So anything that is not empty. So even if I select the whole of A now, let me clear this, and I say equal to count A, and I come here and I highlight the whole. So when you say A colon A, it means the whole of A from the beginning to the end. So I select it and I press enter. It gives me 12, meaning that it counts the cells that contains values. So if I add another cell and I type anything there, you see that it increases to 13. If I delete it, it takes it back to 12 because it is currently counting whatever thing that contains value in that particular column. All these formulas might look useless now. So, but when we start to combine formulas and we start to write complex formulas, you start to see their usefulness. Do you get? You start to see their usefulness because we're applying them in a single, mind you, when you start to work with Microsoft Excel properly, you might write formulas that are this long. You see, your formula bar is not small. Your formula can go extend, get to the end of the formula bar, start again from the next line, like that, like that. So I use this cursor to increase the size of the formula bar. So you might get to write really complex formulas in the long run when you get to use Excel. So all these things are just basics. So that's about some math functions that we get to use in Microsoft Excel. So the last one I'm going to talk about are text functions. So sometimes I remember that there are some things, some text functions will do that I used Flash Fill to do in the video that I made. Please, if you've not seen that video, you should go and see the video as of how to use Control E, the Flash Fill in Microsoft Excel. So you have text functions. Let's say you have Peter, you get to use this to clean data very well. Peter, Paul, John. I'm intentionally typing the cases like that. And James. So I have these guys here, and I want everything to be capital letter. So please, that's why I said that it's very important to note that Microsoft Excel is not just a place where you just come and type, because that's what a lot of people do. Just use it to input data entry, and then if they need to make corrections or anything, let's say you are giving work like this and you're asked to change everything to capital letter, then you now come and start typing it one after the other. That's going to be total waste of time. So you can just say upper. Upper says converts a text string to all uppercase letters. So and I have this upper and I select the text. I don't need to type it. I just select the cell where the text is, and it gives me in uppercase. Do you get? So you can do the same thing and say equals lower, lower. Sorry. Where is W? Okay, W is up. So you have lower, and then you have this, and then you can do um, proper. Proper is also another text function. It converts a text string to proper case, the first letter in each word to uppercase and other letters to lowercase. So if I have proper and for this same text, it gives me the first letter in capital letter, other letters in small letter. So you can do this and all these things. You can easily use Control E to do it. So if I just come here and I just type the first one, all capital letters, PETR, and I just come here and press Control E, it just does it. So don't stress yourself. So, but those formulas are also very necessary. So you get to use them proper, lower, left, right, mid. Left, what left does is let's say you have a particular sentence here. I love Microsoft Excel. Or let me change it to Banji loves. Okay, it's supposed to be loves Microsoft Excel. So I'm just going to double click this. When you double click this, it automatically fits. I didn't mention this earlier. If I bring my cursor, instead of dragging by myself, if I double click, it automatically fits it into the, the size of the longest data in that column. So what functions like write, left does is if I say equal to left of this string. Now remember I told you that every time you type a function, it starts to ask you of the parameters. Now, the first parameter is asking me for is text. Where's the text coming from? I say I want this particular cell, and then I give it a comma. And then the next parameter is asking, the moment you type comma, it shows that you're done with that parameter, then it asks you for the next parameter. Next parameter is the number of characters. How many number of characters do I want to extract from the left? So from the left, I want to extract 5 characters, meaning I want to remove BANGI. Not like remove, I want to extract it. Do you get? So 5 characters, and you give me Banji. Do you get? So because Banji from the left is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the same thing happens from the right. There's another one called mid. I'm not going to do right because I mean it's the same process. So why waste time on it? So you have mid. So mid is slightly different. I want the mid of this text. So let's assume that I want loves. I just want to extract loves from that. So I've selected the text that I want. I put comma. Now it's asking me start number. It's not asking me for the number of characters yet. See, where do you want me to start counting from? Since you don't want me to start counting from the left, you want me to start counting from the middle. What character should I start counting from? Then B is one character, A is another character, N, G, I. So that's 5. The space is also another character. That's 6. So I want it to start counting from the 7th character, which is letter L. And then the number of characters that I want is 5. So because loves is 5, LOVES, and I press 7, 5 and enter, then it gives me loves. Then you can do the same thing for right. So that's that about um, um, text functions. That's not everything, of course. So, but the most popular text functions that you get to use are those ones. So there's another thing that a lot of people want to do in Microsoft Excel, and then they probably might find really confusing. So I'm just going to end on this note. The class should have ended now. So if you want to, there are number formattings. I didn't talk about number formattings. I'll probably start my class tomorrow on number formattings, and we'll talk about pivot tables and charts. So that's what we're going to end tomorrow. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So, but for number formattings, I have these numbers here. There are different formattings that I can use. I can give it a currency format, accounting format, number format as number. It could also be a date format. It could also be anything. So this might seem really confusing because I mean you're actually seeing an actual date here. You see, dates in Microsoft Excel should be like a class on its own on how Microsoft Excel calculates dates. You see that it's showing February 1st, 1900. And that's because the current number where the active cell there is 32. So 32 is the 32nd day from the start of Microsoft Excel's calculation of dates. That's a different class for another day. But Excel sees numbers as dates. I mean, it sees dates as numbers, so it treats each day as a number. So I'm going to explain that if ever we meet again. So, but currently, let's assume that all these things are currencies. So once you press currency, you are dealing with a currency that you are not familiar with. You get the difference between currency and accounting. It might look like the same, but they are not the same. Is that accounting puts the currency value on one side and the numbers on another side so that you can easily see the difference. If I decide to extend this and this, so that you can easily make calculations with it. Are you seeing it? So, and the same thing applies to currency. So, but currency doesn't separate the currency values. So let's say this is Nigeria. I'm currently in Nigeria for those that are not in Nigeria, and I want to make use of the Naira sign. I can just come to more number formats, and then because it's currently in currency, you can change the symbol. So I'll just change the symbol to we have different Naira signs in Microsoft Excel. You have Yoruba, Kanuri. So I'll just choose Yoruba. I'm a Yoruba man, boy, anyone that you think I am. So this is the Naira sign. I just changed to the Naira sign. So this, mind you, this is just a formatting on that cell. The Naira sign is not in existence. If I click on it, you see that it's showing me 32. So, but the cell has been set to be that any number that is written there should be treated as currency, which is the Nigerian currency. So you don't necessarily have to type all these things. So once you set that particular formatting, I can take this formatting now and copy with the format painter and click on this 19.8 whatever, and it automatically changes to currency value with two decimal places. Can you see it? So I just copied the formatting from here, format painter, and pasted it. So you know that it's a format you get. So that's a number format. So this is how you deal with currencies. So I believe that I've given you every information that you need to do the assignment that I'm going to give you, and I expect it before tomorrow's class. So tomorrow is Saturday. I mean, you probably will not go to work or have classes if you're still in school. So just spend time. It's not going to take so much of your time to do the work. There's also something that I did in that particular assignment that I want to give you. It's from the insert tab. You can actually insert pictures. Let me just add this one. You can insert pictures into Microsoft Excel. So let's say I want to insert, I just clicked on insert from this device. I want to insert, um, let me insert my logo. Okay, I'll probably have you people insert my logo. So this is the logo in PNG format. So it's really big. Like there's like a whole lot of space on the side, unnecessary space. So I'm just going to crop it. I'm going to crop this. So and another thing that a lot of people do not know is that you aware that you can you can remove the background of a picture in Microsoft Excel. So you see that currently there's no background already because it's already in PNG format, so there's no background on it. So if there's like a background, let's say I imported a picture that has a background, let me insert another picture. Let me insert this picture that I always like to use. No, it should be in pictures. So let me insert this. So if I insert this picture, I can remove the background. So it's just, it automatically detects and you can make changes in case it is wrong in some places. So I'm going to click on mark areas to keep. Why did you remove my airbrush? So I'm just going to click on maybe trace the line. This is really stressful, Sha. So I want my air back. So give me my air. So it fixes that, and maybe any other place that needs to be fixed. So I want this place. So you can easily work on all those things. So you can remove the background. Once I click on keep changes, it removes the background, and I can use this. A lot of people do not know that Microsoft. That's why I said Microsoft Excel is a sophisticated tool, and it means different things to different people. You probably might not get to use that for the rest of your life. So let's go back to this one, and I'm going to crop the lower parts too because I mean it's taking unnecessary space. I'm just going to reduce that, reducing the space that it is consuming. I'm going to crop this and crop this. So I have the logo here. So I can easily move and put it wherever I want to put it and make whatever size adjustment I want to make. So this is where we're going to end today's class. I'm going to give you an assignment, and I expect that the moment you see the assignment, everything that we've talked about in today's class should make sense. And while we are trying to do the assignment, my DM is very open. You can send me a text. If I don't respond immediately, please call me because I might not see the message early. So just drop a flash call and say, "Oh, I sent you a text. Please check it." And so I'd respond to whatever needs that you have as regards the assignments that I'll give. So I'll send screenshots to the group, and I wish you all the best. I hope we're able to learn one thing or the other in today's class.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, somebody said I should explain the currency aspect again. So let me just quickly go over the text. Okay, explain the currency aspect again. All right. So I said currency is just it's a number format. It's a number format. Let me remove the formatting. So I'm just going to copy what I have on an empty cell and paste it here. So all the naira disappears. And what I have here is just numbers. Do you get? So this is just numbers. Remember, I was talking about formatting before, and I was like, you can make changes to colors. You can make it bold, make it right, left. All those things are formats or formatting, as you would have them formatting. So you have formattings. So you have number formats. That is making numbers look like a particular
Anyway,
way.
that's the question.
Yeah.
Àwọn poem
Is that person trying to talk to me?
àwọn paid poem táwọn bí àwọn
All right. So
he tell me to
please
write
mute your
one poem
mics.
for him.
So
Give me
these numbers.
10.
Dear Lord, who is this person?
Okay, let me to check any poem. Wait.
All right. So here I have different numbers, but I want them to be currency values. Do you get it? I want them to be currency values. So what I do is currently the number format on that cell is general. General means that it allows anything, whether it's a text or it's a number, so it allows anything. So if I if I come here and click on currency, I want to see currency. So it gives me this. So, but what the currency you currently have here is pounds. But we're not dealing with pounds. So what I'll do to change the currency is I came down here to more number formats. If it's actually accounting, it's easier. If it's accounting, you can just click on this place and check more accounting formats. Anyway, it's the same thing. So, but I told you the difference between accounting. Accounting puts the currency value on one side and the numbers on another side. But currency puts the currency values beside it, just beside it. So this is currency. So if I come here, I come to more number formats. The moment I click on more number formats, it shows me the sample of what I have currently. So I want it to be two decimal places. That's what currencies usually are. So except you want to break the rule. So then I come here and scroll down to where I have the Naira sign. This is where I have the Naira sign. So I'm just going to click on Igbo and then OK. So it changes the currency sign to Naira. So you don't necessarily have to start looking for Naira somewhere to type anytime you are working with things like this. So mind you, the values that are inside the cell are still 5, but the format, meaning that how it is displayed as a currency to you. So if I come here and type another number, 33, you see that it automatically detected from all that I had initially. Let me go far away and type, okay, this one is just a normal number. So if I have this one, which is 43, I'm sorry, I can copy the formatting on a particular cell, format painter. I believe you know how to use format painter, and paste it here. And once I paste it here, it changes the number formatting from 43 to 43 naira 00 kobo. Do you get? So because I've put currency and I've set a particular currency symbol that is to be there. All right, I believe that you understand it now. Okay, the random numbers. You know what? I'm going to send the video recording. So for random numbers, I use the function called round between. I just selected a range of cells. Then the thing is, whenever you use round between, you say equal to round between, and you select. It asks you for. Remember, I said every time you type a function, it asks you for parameters. The parameters here is bottom and top. So what should be at the bottom? What should be the least number and what should be the highest number? So I want a number between 5 and 6. Then it gives me, or between 5 and 6, or 12, 5 and 12. It gives me any random number between 5 and 12. So but what I did the other time was that I wanted random numbers in a lot of cells at once. So I selected the cells that I wanted and I typed in 1. which is the active cell. So anywhere the active cell doesn't really matter. So this is round between. I want a random number between 5 and 20. So instead of pressing enter, because if I press enter, it's going to give me my result only in the active cell. So I hold down control key and press enter. So it gives me the result in all the cells that I selected. So that's what happens when you select a range of cell and you type in the active cell, then hold control and enter. It gives you the result in all the cells. So that's how I generated these random numbers. So it's using a function called round between. Remember I said that functions just help you to do things with ease. So all those inbuilt functions you have in Microsoft Excel, and there are so many of them that apply to different. If you are doing financial analysis, the kind of functions you get to use is different from, yeah. If you are trying to clean data, you get, so there are some functions that I have never heard of in my life. So, but the beautiful thing about function is that when you the moment you start typing the function, you can see it. Let's say you have um, um, let's use this filter function now. So you have filter function. It starts to ask you different questions. The first question is what? What is the array? Array means like a group of like a table. What is the array that you want to get your results from? And then what is the cell that you want to pick from? That's for the include. And if it is empty, what value should we give you? These are the parameters that are there. Do you get? So you don't necessarily need to know each parameter that you will need for each function. The moment you type the function, it starts to ask you those questions, and so you just give it the necessary things, information that it needs, and then you get the results that you want. I hope that is clear. All right. So thank you for joining today's class. I'll just stop sharing my screen from here and end the class here. So take care, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, have a
Thank you very
lovely.
much.
Yeah, good
Thank
night.
you very much.
So I'm going to say you're
I really
welcome.
appreciate.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
for your
much, the
time.
facilitator. Please, if today's class is recorded, please help us to send it to the group. Thank you very much.
Okay, like the recording of the class.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, I'll try to do that. But if I
Okay.
send the recording, it will discourage people from coming to the class tomorrow because they
Ah,
just believe that they are going to get the recording.
please, it's just to go over again, please.
All right, I'll do that.
Okay.
Then
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
But
going to send the.
but if you cannot share it tomorrow, you can do that maybe probably at the end of the class.
All right. That's better. So I'd also I'll send you the assignments that I want you to work on. Okay. There was somebody that needed help. Oh, I'm just checking the group messages now. All right. So take care of yourselves, everybody. Good night. I'll just end.
Thank you, the
Good
facilitator.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah. Good night.
Night, sir.